Independent play is when children engage in self-directed, uninterrupted play without adult intervention. It's where they build autonomy, resilience, and creativity. Kia ora, hello, I'm Ruth Virko, a teacher turned mum here on a mission to demystify child's play through understanding play schemas. If you've ever found yourself asking, why is my child doing that? Whether it's throwing their soft toys, hiding stones around the house, or lining up their crayons, then you're in the right place, and certainly not alone. Here, we'll explore the magic of play through the lens of play schemas, those hidden, repeated patterns in your child's behaviour that holds the key to unlocking more meaningful play and connection. Through understanding play schemas, you'll be able to move beyond those one-off activities and understand the why behind your child's play. Join me each week as we dive into playful insights that will help you bring more joy, connection, and understanding into your parenting journey and set the stage for a lifetime of learning. Let's dive on in. Hello and welcome back to the Demystifying Child's Play podcast. I'm Ruth Virko and I'm so excited to have you here today. So get comfortable, whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house. Let's dive on in and explore together. Now, if you've ever wondered how to help your child play happily on their own while fostering their confidence and creativity, this is the episode for you. Today, we're exploring the magic of independent play and how understanding play schemas can make it all the more effective, because I am all about working with your child and their natural urges rather than working against them. And this is part one of a 3-part episode. So part 1 is all about independent play and how play schemas support them. Part 2 is about playing with siblings or friends and how play schemas support. And part 3 is playing with adults. So you, mums, dads, aunties, uncles, anyone playing with kids and how play schemas can support the play as well. So by the end of this episode, you'll not only have some practical tools to set the stage for independent play, but you'll also see how you can understand your child's unique play patterns and feel empowered to step back while they thrive. Now, if play schemas are new to you, head over to playschemas.com/free to download my top 10 play schemas cheat sheet. That is playschemas.com/free, and you'll see some other freebies there too. Okay, why does independent play matter? First, I want to debunk a myth, which may be a common misconception. Independent play is not about leaving your child to fend for themselves. It's not saying, I am too busy for you right now, go and play, or I cannot play with you right now, I've got this and this and this to do, I need to work, go play. What it is it's about giving them the space to explore, create, and grow. If they're good at independent play, you might be able to go do a lot of other things, but it takes a while to build them up to that. Independent play is when children engage in self-directed, uninterrupted play without adult intervention. It's where they build autonomy, resilience, and creativity. Now, if you've been listening along to the podcast, you'll know that play has so many benefits in independent play just as much as playing with others. For cognitive abilities, it gives them so much cognitive growth. Independent play can be like a workout for their brain, enhancing their problem solving, focus, and critical thinking. Just think about it. When you're with them, they can ask you questions and you answer them straight away, not giving them the chance to think on their own. When they're playing independently, they've got to try and problem solve and work that wonderful brain of theirs. It can help them with emotional regulation as they learn to handle their big feelings and building patience during their playtime. Maybe when that tower's fallen over again, maybe when they can't quite connect something, they've got these big emotions and they're learning to work through it. And of course, you've been modelling working through emotions beforehand as well. And it can help them with confidence and autonomy. There's nothing like the joy of accomplishment when you solve a problem or create something on your own. It's the same for them. Just think about it when they've built something and they say, hey mum, hey dad, come have a look at this. And make sure, even though if they're playing independently, you've got the chance to go and see them and celebrate their achievement. And of course, we cannot forget why it helps us as parents too. While I have said it's not about pushing them to the other room and saying, I don't have time for you, it does mean it gives us space to recharge, maybe tackle a task or enjoy a moment of peace. But again, you may need to work up to this. And I'm all about being able to have my hot drink hot. And maybe with a sneaky chocolate biscuit out of view of my kids, that's an added bonus. So once they can play independently, you've got a lot more flexibility and freedom. And when they're happy, I'm happy. And when I'm happy, they're happy. It's a win for everyone. Okay, so what are play schemas? They're a blueprint of how your child plays, patterns of behaviour that shows how they explore and learn. So, for example, have you ever noticed your child spinning objects or lining up cars? Both of those are play schemas in action. If you'd like a more detailed explanation of the top 10 play schemas, listen to either episode 2 or 4, where I cover play schemas and what they are learning and go through them. Or just grab the freebie at playschemas.com/free. So just quickly thinking of a couple of common play schemas. Trajectory is the one that we see a lot of, which is the throwing, dropping, or pushing objects down ramps. There is the transporting, which is moving items around in baskets or containers, and enclosing, where you build enclosures with blocks or wrap things up. Okay, so how do schemas support independent play? When you understand your child's schemas, you can offer them activities that truly engage them. So what I am about is engaging children, not just entertaining them. When you're engaged, they are with it for longer and they're doing so much more learning and having so much more fun. Entertaining might entertain them for a little bit, but generally they lose interest quickly. This is why I'm all about having different toys that they can play with together. Now, I do love a really good Pinterest sensory tub that you've got some water and you've got maybe some rocks and animals that can swim around together. And if they're not into that, they'll be entertained for a little while, but then they'll be done. And then you're thinking, cool, that was half a cup of tea and no chocolate biscuit. When you're working with the schema they're working through, you can set something up, whether it's literally just getting out some dinosaurs and some pillows, and they could be entertained for hours. So knowing their schemas really helps prolong their independent play, which means 1, 2, or 3 chocolate biscuits for you. So for example, if you've got a trajectory kid and the lovely sensory tub, all they're going to want to do is throw all the rocks out, and when they've all thrown out, they're done. What they might enjoy is maybe some ramps that went into that tub and some balls to go down so they can do it again and again and again. Or maybe a transporting child may enjoy having multiple buckets where they can put things from one to another, to another, to another, and maybe a cart or something that they can transport them between. Or an enclosing kid might love boxes or blankets or building forts, or maybe some tubes or maybe some boxes that they can hide things under the water. So you just think about how one little change, understanding that schema, can really help getting them engaged in it and not just being entertained by it. Okay, so if we want to set the stage for independent play, one of the first things is you do not need to have a fancy playroom. If you've got a playroom, awesome. I'm sure you stand on a lot less things in the lounge than I do. But all you need is a safe, child-friendly space. It could be a corner with a playmat, and you need to know that only a few toys are needed. You don't need heaps. For us, we've got a space in our lounge downstairs, and we've got a space near our bedrooms where our children can play. Near our bedrooms, we've got a line on the floor, which I might show you this week on Instagram. So check out at play_schemas. And my children know that the toys are only allowed on one side of the line. This is purely because at night, I don't want to be walking on toys as I go to the bedrooms. And one thing I'm quite keen on is not having to tidy up at the end of each day in certain spaces. In the lounge, if we've got friends coming over, we do collate our toys a bit more. But sometimes when the children are in their schemas and they're working on something, if you pack them up halfway through, it just really loses their flow and they lose their mojo. But being able to leave things out maybe 1, 2, 3 days, maybe a week or more, they can build on their play. Again, more on this in another episode, so let me know if you want to know more about building on play. But having spaces where they can play freely is really important. Now also, I've mentioned before, is having open-ended toys. So you might think blocks or dress-up clothes, art supplies, maybe sensory materials like Play-Doh. Have toys that spark creativity and keep your child engaged longer. But if you've been to my house, you will know that there are not beautifully curated shelves where I've got all these beautiful, ethically sourced wooden toys. Before I had kids, I thought my space would be like that. Maybe you had a Pinterest board of these beautiful play setups, which are all natural looking and had scarves hanging and were all kind of one colour, quite beigey. I realised pretty quickly there were no books in there. But also, I had kids and I saw that open-ended toys, if you mixed them with cars and trucks and dinosaurs, that's when they had lots of playing that went longer and longer and longer. Another thing is decluttering for creativity. Less can really be more in playing. And rotating toys and keeping the space tidy can help reduce an overstimulation and keep playtime fresh. Now, when you hear rotation, don't do what I do and freak out and be like, yep, no, too hard basket. I'm not, again, watching Pinterest and seeing all these beautiful past baskets labeled with week 1 and week 2, or maybe with themes, and they get switched in and out. I don't have the space for storing toys like that, and I don't have the mental capacity for storing toys like that. And quite often our toys are mixed and changed between. What I've done for toy rotation is I found a drawer in my child's room underneath his bed that we weren't using. And so one day when we just needed to do a bit of a declutter because there was toys that I wasn't ready to give away or he wasn't ready to give away, I put a whole lot of toys in there that he hadn't played with for a while, and they actually stayed in there for ages, so we had less toys out. One day he found that drawer, and so he started pulling toys out again, and then so I just put some different toys back in there. So there's this kind of slight rotation that always goes on. I've also done things like some of our more baby toys get kept away for when we have babies out, and so we just kind of constantly have this little rotation. One thing I'm working on is the giving of toys, because I need my children to know that when the toys are given, they're doing it with a happy heart and I'm not just sneaking them away. So if you're keen to hear more on that, I'm keen to talk about that later, so let me know. You may be listening to this and thinking, cool, this sounds all great, but my child's going to resist this. If your child does struggle to play alone, start small and play alongside them for a few minutes and then gently step back by offering less and less intervention. So by start small, I mean beginning with 2, 5, maybe just 10 minutes of independent play and gradually increasing as they gain confidence and stamina. By playing alongside them, it's when you play with them and then maybe move further away or you just offer less and less intervention. And also, even if they are playing independently, letting them know you're still there. Independent play may start by them playing in one side and you reading your book in the other, or maybe you doing your own art or craft or hobby. Now, if you have an attention seeker, what you can do is you can create a transition object, like a favourite soft toy, or maybe reassure them that you'll be nearby while praising their efforts as you encourage them doing things independently. So it might be they've got their favourite little bear, and you say, I'm going to put Bear next to you so you know that Bear's there if you need them. Or I'm going to be sitting just around the corner, you'll be able to hear me. So maybe you're singing or got some music on. They know you're still there, but you're not playing directly with them. And as always, be positive. Offer positive reinforcement. Celebrate their focus and creativity. Things like, wow, you worked so hard building that tower. Or, far out, last time you couldn't make that puzzle on your own and today you did it. I wonder if you can make it faster next time. So when you offer them positive praise, they can see what they're doing is amazing and it builds their confidence. Now, if things are feeling a little bit stagnant, maybe you could introduce some new toys, rotate toys or swap toys with friends, and observe what naturally excites your child and tailor the activities to meet their interests. So for example, in our house, our 3.5-year-old has not had any interest in dinosaurs until just recently. So we're going to be adding some dinosaurs into the play toys. Are they open-ended? No, they are dinosaurs. Will they entertain him? Yes, they will. Will they engage him? Yes, they will. When I put them with his play schemas, he'll be able to play with them for a long time. So when you choose toys that really interest them, it can really help with this independent play. Okay, so that again is a lot. We've had to talk about independent play and how it fosters creativity, confidence, and resilience, and how understanding play schemas can supercharge this journey. It can help them stay engaged, not just entertained. So a challenge for you is to observe your child's play and see if you can spot a schema in action. And then try introduce a matching activity or toys that can work with them. And then try step back. And I would love to see how it goes, especially if your child hasn't been very good at playing independently. So if you want more tips and tricks and if you want to see a bit more of our play space, head over to play_schemas on socials or visit playschemas.com/009 for the blog links from today and this episode. And if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on any future tips, strategies, or those aha moments, and share it with other parents or caregivers who are ready to explore the power of play schemas. And as I've just said, I would love to hear your playtime stories, especially if it's related to this week about understanding schemas and helping your child to play independently. If you're trying to celebrate a win or crack the mystery behind a new behaviour, I'm here for it. So next week, as I've said, will be part 2 of the series and we'll be talking about playing with others. So thinking about playing with siblings and friends, and we'll particularly be looking at when play schemas don't work together, so like the disconnecting and connecting. Okay, so until next time, have a wonderful week and remember, today is a great day to play.